Alright, so I got these big calipers for the off the S550 for my Mustang, and I'm going to be walking you guys through how I tear it apart, clean it, and paint it, and put it on to the Mustang. So the one I have is an S197. This is off a 2017 GT. So yeah, this is just the bolt right there that connects to the brake lines, and I just took that off. That's what was it, 13 millimeter. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the caliper apart and drain everything out and take the pads out, that type of stuff. So these two right here are 17 millimeters, and this one and that one over there are 14 millimeters. So I'm going to take those two off and we'll go from there. Okay, so I got those 4 bolts all loosened up. Just for reference's sake, these two, the two that go over here, if we take a look at them, they say 9A on them, versus the ones over here, they say 9C. You know, just so you know. So once you take those off, I might as well just take them off. Put them off to the side somewhere safe. I'll just put them beside these guys. We'll take this guy off too. Come on, let's go. So once you get this guy taken off, what we can do is just kind of pry this out of here. I'll probably use 2 hands for it, but yeah, we'll take this clip out. Now once you've gotten that clip out as well, you can basically just lift this guy. It's going to start splitting into 2, and that's 1/2 out for you. So I'll move that off to the side, take the pads out, and do the same thing to the other side. But yeah, take a look at this. The pads on this one, they're huge, especially compared to the S197. So this is going to be quite an upgrade. Well, I guess I'll just put them down here. Put those down there too for now. And then take the hardware out. Take the other pad out. Oh no, I forgot there's clips on the other side probably. Nope, this only falls off from that side. So don't forget the hardware for the pads. Flip this bad boy over. And take these pins off. Once you've done that, there's also a cover right here. So take that off. Push the pistons in, make sure you cover these guys up real good, give it a nice clean. So I'm going to make it nice and shiny. Quick update, so I've got these, got my first round of cleaning, just wiping them down and whatnot done. I'm also going to take these guys off. You're going to need a 5/16, or is it, I usually prefer these in millimeters, but I have this laying around, so get a 5/16 to loosen it off. It's the same one on the other half as well. This gets you better access to clean everything. And I'm cleaning with just some Dawn detergent and some water. So I've got these ones nice and cleaned up. I'm gonna head over and start working on the other one. Quite the difference. They look much nicer just like this. I don't even need to paint them. But yeah, so same thing applies to this. I'll wash that too. Oh, quick thing, when you take out the, where is it? The bleeder valve, I guess, you're gonna have a bunch of fluid come out with it, so keep an eye on that. And when you're scrubbing, try not to scrub on the actual like the rubber on the piston. This is my first time doing it too, but I'm just using water and soap. I'm gonna hit it with some brake cleaner now that once this dries out, and run some air, put like a compressed air through here just to clean out all the lines and whatnot, and we'll go from there. So yeah, I'm gonna go wash this guy out real good. What I'm doing is I'm grabbing, you know, the thing you clean your dishes with, going down with that first, then rinsing it, and then using a metal wire brush to clean it off. So yeah, I'll do that, and I'll get back to you guys. So I've got these all cleaned up and whatnot, and what I'm doing now is I'm taking some 80 grit sandpaper and sanding down any hard edges, anything that I don't really want on the paint when I paint anyway. So for example, right here, it got scuffed here or something, and there was a couple sharp points. I'm just gonna sand them down, make them nice and smooth, and just go around, make sure everything is the way I really want it to be. And now that I've got this all sanded to my liking, I've made this smooth because that's where I'm going to put my stickers, and there's no more hard spots and whatnot. You can hit it with some brake clean and get it all nice and squeaky clean. What I'm going to do after that is I'm going to mask up any places I don't want paint going. So basically the bolt that goes here, the bleeder valves, the bleeder screws on the inside here around the pistons, that port right there. By the way, there's a gasket there. Don't forget to take that off, and that sort of stuff. So I'll mess that all off, and then we'll hit it with some primer. All right. So after we finish masking it off and everything, what I'm doing is I hung this caliper off something tall just so I can get to all the areas. And what I'm going to do now is I have some high temperature primer, or high temp primer, and I'm just going to spray this down nice and even all around, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I got 3 coats of primer on this guy, and it's looking pretty solid. At this point you can sort of see the imperfections that will come through. For example, on this, if this focuses, I guess it's too gray or something. Oh no, there you go. So you can kind of see that kind of stuff. That'll still show through, but I don't really care. It looks good enough when the paint's on there, you won't notice it. So yeah, so what you're gonna do now is I'm gonna take some paint and put 2 light coats and 1 medium thick coat on there, and let it sit for about 3 hours before you can do anything to it. So I'm gonna do that to all 4, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I put 3 light coats and 1 medium coat on here, and this is what it came out so far. So this is just the back side of the first caliper, but I think it came out pretty darn good. So I'll go ahead and do the same steps for the 4 pieces left, or is it 1? For the 3 pieces left, and once I'm done all that, I'll show you guys how you're supposed to bake these and all that. So catch you guys then. Alright, so I've got these inside now. I'm just gonna put them in the oven here. Put them evenly spaced and somewhere where you know for a fact they aren't gonna fall in. I'm still leaving the masking tape and all that in there, but it's up to you if you want to leave it there or not. So, but yeah, so we're gonna put this guy in there, nice and solid, and we're gonna bake this for around half an hour at 90 degrees Celsius, or whatever that is in Fahrenheit. Alright, so once you're done baking and all that, it's gonna look the same. It's just cured now. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna be installing stickers. I ordered myself some high temperature Willwood stickers here. I didn't want to do Brembos too mainstream, you know. So I'm gonna try and see which one fits best. This has a 20% curvature to it, and I ordered some that have a 10% curvature to it, just because of how it kind of curves here. And I'm just trying to see which one matches up the best and will fit in there. So I'm going to give a shot to the 20%, but because I can't really exactly tell with the backing here, with it being white obviously, so I'm going to try it to send it. If not, there's only 2, I've got lots of extras. So to do this, you're going to get these first. There's 3 layers to these. There's clear layer up top, that one, the first one you see that kind of looks like it's popping, it has a little bit of sticker. Then you have the vinyl in the middle, and then you have this backing right here. So first what you got to do is you got to get yourself a hard surface here. I'm just going to use this textbook I've got here, and you want the vinyl to stick to that top layer there. And to do that, you get yourself a credit card and you just kind of go like this, obviously using some force, or you can also use a squeegee, and just get it all the way flat. So if you remember right here, let me see if I can show this better. Okay, you can't tell, but like if you look very closely, you can see there's a slight change in color right by where the vinyl ends. That's because obviously there's air there, and you want to get all that air out and get that vinyl to stick to the top layer. So I'm gonna hit it with this for a bit and we'll go from there. So once you do that, you can just pull the backing plate off, or the backing sheet off, and the vinyl is going to be on that clear piece in front. And now what we can do is I can adjust it here and push down and apply these stickers. So it's pretty simple. So yeah, I'll do that. Obviously I want to get it right, so we'll go from there. So once you've gotten it how you basically kind of want it, this is what I'm thinking. Obviously I don't care about full-on measurements, but you just want to make sure it fits pretty good. So there's that option there for 20%, or 10% would be a little bit smaller size. I feel like it looks pretty good with this size. If not, obviously you can take it off later. But yeah, I'm gonna put it on and see how it looks. And yeah, so all you gotta do put it on is you just push it down over the vinyl and peel back at a very sharp angle. So you kind of want to peel back like this, like that, at a really sharp angle. So yeah, I'll do that and I'll show you guys what it looks like from there. Alright, so there you have it. I've got my stickers on, and all I gotta do now is, so the same way you painted it, just we're gonna hit it with 3 layers of clear coat on there, 2 light, 1 medium, let it dry and bake it all up. And that's gonna be it, and I'll show you guys the final product once I do that. Alright, so I clear coated all 4 pieces, and we're gonna bake them back at 200 degrees Fahrenheit or 93 degrees Celsius for an hour and a half, and we'll go from there. So same thing what we did with the paint coat, but this time we're gonna do it with the clear coat. So the idea is I want to put these on my Mustang over here. These rooms will have to go, I'm pretty sure. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna put these calipers back together. Now that they're painted and they've been rebuilt, I'm gonna put them all back together. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish rebuilding them. So I'll get back to you guys once I'm done that. Alright guys, so they're all put back together, and this is what they look like now. So definitely a lot better. I love the shine that they have. Looks great. So yeah, that's that. So keep in touch, and I'll make a video on how to install the S550 calipers, which is these guys here, onto my S197 right here. Alright guys, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to, or show you guys me trying to mount the S550 15 to 18 Mustang GT's calipers, the 4-piston ones, not the Brembo 6-piston ones. I don't really need them. I'm only doing this just because it looks nice, honestly. I don't even need them. I just drift my Mustang. But anyway, so I'm going to show you guys how to put those ones onto these ones and replace these calipers with something that looks a lot better. Now, so you obviously need the calipers for off the S550. I think these cost me around $200 US. So Canadian, it was like close to 300 for the 2 with the brake lines too. But I don't think we're going to be using these. On the forums, I've heard you need stainless steel braided lines, but I'm going to try and see if I can just use the stock OEM ones, shave them down or something, and get them to fit. Anyway, I powder coated them and put some stickers on them and made them all look pretty or whatever. So that's, if you want to do it. I rebuilt them and everything as well. The rebuild kit cost me what, 20 bucks, and so what is that, like $20 Canadian in. Now other than that, I had to buy these calipers, not these calipers, the rotors for the calipers, because those calipers will not fit on those rotors. So I got these guys here, just a regular, nothing sporty, nothing with holes in it, not slotted or anything either. These are 14-inch rotors off the 07 to 09 GT 500s, and you just need the front 2 pair, obviously. They are very heavy and very big, but yeah, these cost me around 110 bucks as well. So it's like about, I'd say $500 upgrade from the stock 2-piston. Is it 2-piston? I think it's a 2-piston caliper. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do today. Now, first things first, obviously I already skipped this portion, but is you got to jack your car up and put your wheels underneath there, take your wheels off. So what I did is I jacked it up enough so that I can sit on a chair and just kind of just play with it here. I don't want to lean into it or anything. Obviously you want to keep your posture and everything correct, right? So yeah, so take your what's it called? Take your wheels off, and then we'll go from here. What we're going to do here is we're going to start working on taking this caliper off. So to take this caliper off, there's going to be 2 bolts here. There's one right here. 2 two bolts holding it to the knuckle anyway. And then if you take a look here, there's another bolt right there. So we're going to take these two guys off. By the looks of it, they are 14 millimeter bolts. So we'll just take these two off, and then this should just slide right off pretty easily, and we'll go from there. Alright, so you might have probably noticed already here, I took the rotor off as well. It was not that hard, so I took the caliper off, hung it, and all I really had to do was, mine was already loose because I do my stuff on my car often, so nothing was rusted on, but you can see there's rust here and whatever. What a smart idea would be to, put some anti-seize here, so that future rotors don't rust on there. But anyway, but yeah, so there's nothing holding in the rotor really, it just comes right off. If yours is stuck or whatever, just hammer it. We're not going to be using these rotors anyway. If you do want to keep them though, then be careful of how you hammer it. You don't want it breaking here, but don't be afraid to send it either, right? But yeah, so once you get that off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this place up a little bit. We might have to take the dust shield off, but I kind of want to see how the new caliper looks like, if it just bolts on or not. But I'm just going to clean this entire area up. You'll notice that I have a little catch can or a big something to catch all the brake fluid or oil or whatever comes off. It would be a smart idea, especially if you're working in a driveway. So do that, and I'll get back to you guys. So another thing real quick here, I've put anti-seize all over it already, but I do think we're gonna have to take this off because the stock rotor obviously fits in here, but the new GT500 rotors will not, so I'm just going to take this off anyway. There's just 3 12mm bolts. And one note again, I forgot to mention, these bolts that hold the caliper onto the knuckle or the spindle are actually 15mm, not 14. So I'll do that here real quick. I'll take this guy off, and then I'll put the new rotors on, and just see how much bigger they are actually. But yeah, let's do that. Yeah, so take a look here. The GT500 rotor is definitely a lot bigger than the stock one here. Actually, if I stack them on top of each other, you got lots of space around it too, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hit this with brake cleaner, because they do have protective oils or whatever on them to keep them from rusting, and then we'll mount it on the car, and we'll start working on the caliper. Yeah, take a look. That rotor is definitely huge. It's a lot bigger than the stock one. Anyway, so I'm going to take this back off, and we're going to start working on the caliper here. What we're going to do is we're going to pinch the brake line here, maybe with some vice grips or something, just to keep oil from flowing in, or what is it called, brake fluid from flowing in, and then we're going to undo the bolt back here. Where is it? We're down here. I don't know where it is. Oh yeah, down here. Let's get right here. That's the brake, or the banjo bolt, and we're gonna see what we can do to it to make it fit the S550 caliper. So see you guys there. Alright, so quick rundown on what I did. This is the brake line on the car. I have a second parts car, so I already have this off. I'm gonna work on this before I work on the actual car, the brake lines on the car. So just to show you guys what I'm doing here though. The regular, let's see here. So this is what the S197 brake line looks like. It does sort of, so the bolt fits perfectly fine in there, but the square around here has to be trimmed a little bit. It sort of fits, but it's I don't know, I guess you could tighten it in, but I'd rather have it fit properly. So what I found is that you have two options on how to mount it. First of all, so when I'm holding the square like this, the top side is going to face this thing here. So the correct mounting position would be something like this, right? So this side goes on this side here. So one way you can do that is you can put that here like this, and then like bend this metal line over here, this metal line right here, to make it fit and clear the caliper or whatever. I don't want to do that, so what I'm doing is I'm taking that banjo bolt out. I'm actually gonna flip the entire line over like this. Goodness, it's so hard to do with one hand. But anyway, I'm gonna flip it over like this and mount it like this. Basically, the bolt is gonna go in the other way. When you do it that way, you don't have to bend the line, because obviously the line's coming out this way, right? But now, so you could just bolt it in like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave off a little bit on this side, just to make it line up properly. So if you take a look here, this is the S55, the stock brake lines on the big brakes, and this is the S197 line. If you look here, you can see that just so slightly it's larger. So I've aligned the hole here, and just slightly the S197 one is a bit bigger on this side, which makes it harder to fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind the S197 one down till to flush with the S550 ones, and then that should fit in no problems. Alright, so I grinded it down a bit, and you can see that now it's a flush, or much more flush to the S550 ones. So all I did is I used a sanding bit, or whatever you want to call this, on an angle grinder, and we went from there. I don't want to touch this right now, it's pretty hot, but I'll let it cool down and I'll mount it on this, and hopefully it fits perfectly. Then what I'll try is I got to make sure that I don't need to bend this again. That's the goal of this, so that what's it called, I have no clearance issues when I turn the steering wheel right, especially because I'm going to have more angle soon when I get the angle kit on this thing. But yeah, I'm going to let this cool, mount this on there, and I'll let you guys know how this went. Yeah, so after grinding it down, you can see that it sits perfectly and sits flush with the brake caliper, so it should work pretty well. Now I'm going to do this to both sides, and what I'm thinking is, instead of grinding the lines on the actual car, what I'll do is I'll just replace the lines on the car with these other lines that I have anyway. So yeah, I'll do that real quick, and we'll jump ahead to mounting them on the car. Alright, so now I'm going to be working on mounting the actual caliper itself. So to mount the caliper, what we're going to do is we're going to take the rotor here, and we're going to put the rotor on to the hub here, and we're going to take one of the lug nuts and tighten it all the way down to keep that rotor in place. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to slide the caliper on, put the caliper bolts on, and then put the brake line in there, and that should be all we really need to do. But yeah, so keep watching, and this is what I'll be doing. Alright, so once you've got that rotor on there, we're going to be working on mounting the caliper on. This is a bit heavy, so you might want some support, but anyway. So what you got to do really is, we're just going to slide the caliper on and line up the mounting points, which are located right here on the caliper, with the mounting points on the hub. So this guy here and this guy here. What you may need to do though, this is kind of on your own discretion, is that you may need to use some washers here. So what you want are 1/2-inch washers, 2 millimeters or 2.5 millimeters wide or in thickness. And what we're going to be doing is basically these are going to go between the mounting points on the caliper and the hub itself right here. So something like this. But this is only if you feel like you need it, and that's only just because the caliper might not actually center itself perfectly on the rotor itself, so that's kind of on your own call if whether or not you need it or not. So what I'll do is I'll mount this first without the washers, see how it sits, show you guys, and then we'll go from there. So this is what the brakes look like when they're mounted on the car. Definitely huge compared to what the OEMs were, but you can see here that they're not exactly centered, right? Let's take a look. You can kind of tell. Let's see here. See how the rotor isn't exactly centered? It's more towards the front, or the front of the caliper. So if you look here compared to on the other side. So I'm going to put that washer in there, and that should help alleviate that problem there. Alright, so I've got these mounted properly, got the washers in too, and then you can see that they're much more centered than before, and they're spinning pretty good. One of the pistons on this wasn't fully retracted, so it is getting stuck here a little bit, but that's to be expected. But anyway, so that's how you basically get it on the car. Now the next portion of this is pretty simple. From here, we're just going to be connecting this line back here. So yeah, just do that and we should be good to go, other than bleeding the brakes. So I'll do the other side as well, and I'll walk through bleeding the brakes and all that as well. And then we'll go over wheel options. So yeah, see you guys after I do all that. Alright, so it's all mounted in. I got the line connected here as well. I did have to do a little bit of bending here, and I bent this bracket here just for clearance issues here. And I'm going to put a protective rubber or protective plastic thing here just in case it rubs with this. I don't think it will. I adjusted it and checked it all. And what's it called? Turned wheels to full lock on both sides, and it seems okay. But yeah, just in case I did that anyway. So we're going to do the same exact steps on the other side, and then all you really got to do is bleed the brakes, and that's it. And that's how you install S550 rotors, and no, S550 calipers on a S197. Alright, so I've gotten everything done, and now we're going to talk fitment. So the stock 17-inch Mustang rims, those ones over there, they will not fit no matter what you do on this setup here. So don't even think about that. Maybe keep them for the back or something, because I'll keep these as my drift spares or whatever. So what I did on this is I also have the rims off a 2015 to 2018 Mustang. I have these guys here. These are the 18-inch ones. I believe they're positive 40 offsets. Don't quote me on that, but something like that. And these do not clear the front here. They barely clear the side here, but if you have any of those weight adjustment things, the weights for balancing the wheel, they will scrape here. As you can see here, they kind of scraped. Just hit it with some clear again. So yeah, so what you're gonna have to do is, what I'm thinking is, I'm probably just gonna get like about a 20mm spacer or something of that sort here, and then what's it called, that way I have enough clearance for the rims to actually fit here. But yeah, so you definitely need much larger rims than the 17s. 17s will not cut anymore. You'll probably need 18s, or even if you got 19s, 19s should be a lot easier to fit. But yeah, you'll need some spacers to make adjustments there. Other than that, all that's left is to bleed the brakes, and you're done. So that's that. Thanks for watching.